Hey there. Great afternoon, everybody. Come on in the room. Come on in the room. As you're coming in the room, say hello. As you're coming in the room, say hello. Great afternoon. Hey, Erlene. Hey, daughter girl. How are you? Listen, happy Tuesday to each and every one of you. Hey, Aunt Jackie. Happy Tuesday to each and every one of you. I am super excited. Welcome to Lunchtime Empowerment Talks with Dr. Vaughn. I am Dr. Shabana Whitehead, and it's always my privilege, honor, and pleasure to come right here and join you. Hey, Latanya, how are you? Listen, I don't know if you saw the subject in this post. I've been pondering over something as I watch many people matriculate through the various seasons of their life. And I want to talk to you today simply from the subject heal well. Heal well. I know those are two little words, but I want you to heal well. And so, hey, Ash, my sister, I miss you. So listen, I want you to just type in the chat section, I'm determined to heal well. I want you to declare that I am determined to heal well. Yep. I am determined to heal well. Yep. I am determined to heal well. And let me tell you where I am problematic. Many of us, we have to get beyond looking healed and sounding healed. We have to get beyond the appearance of saying what needs to be said to look like we're healed and not really navigating what we need to actually navigate to heal. Some of us are walking around with the dispensation and with the, as I should say, with the personality of this is just me. When there is some real major deliverance that needs to happen. Hey, Shabora, how are you? There is some major deliverance that needs to happen. There's some major work. And some of us, it amazes me how we can literally be in turmoil one week and the next week we will proclaim that we've been totally healed and we ain't done no work. Or we seem to think that the state that we're in, if we steal away for 1 or 2 weeks, now we can declare that we're totally healed. Many of us are walking around and we're not real with ourselves. We have not committed to the journey of healing well. And the reason why we keep repeating cycles is because we've mastered the look of healing. I can't hear nobody. I said we've mastered the look of healing, but we have not actually mastered healing well. We have mastered the ability for other people to think that we're healed, but we don't heal well. And so many of us want to actually, we need to actually take the time to actually work on ourselves. You deserve healing. Yes, you do. All of you that are watching, you deserve healing. You deserve to be whole. You deserve to be free. But we got to stop walking around acting like we've done something and actually really be it. What do you mean, Dr. Vaughn? That means that there are some strategic steps that I have to take to be really healed. I can say, I can get all the lingo, all the healing words, I can put it all together. But until I actually do the internal work, I mean, the real digging deep internal work, which means some of my habits got to change. That means some of my language needs to change. That means my disposition needs to change. Some of my ways need to change. It's not just about removing people out of my life. There is some soul work. There is some soul and self work that has to be done for real healing to take place. Many people are going through the same cycle year after year because we don't want to do the soul work. We don't want to do the deep digging. Somebody say deep digging. We don't want to do the deep digging. But I have come to realize that it wasn't until I dug deep to find out the very core and stop blaming everybody else for my wounds that I actually realized that I had some dysfunction in me that needed to be rooted. I had some dysfunction in me that needed to be uprooted. I had some issues in me that needed to be broken. And I had to go from talking like I was healed to digging deep so that I can be healed. Okay. Yes. That's right. Latanya, dig it. So I'm going to give you a few things. You know, I always like to give takeaways, and I always like you to understand. So here's the first thing. The first thing is I want you to know that healing happens in stages. Come on here. Healing happens in stages. You do not go for being totally shattered 1 month, and the next month you are totally healed and ain't nothing bothering you. Come on here. Healing happens in stages. You have to be committed to the stages of your healing, and you have to be true to it. We have to stop making it seem like it's something that it's not. You got to be true to the stage of healing that you're in. What does that mean? That means I have to be committed to that particular stage before I can get to the next one. Many of us want to go from, okay, now we want to be healed, and now we're all the way to the skyrocket. We are healed, walking around. We want to go from the desire to the manifestation without no work in between. Mm-hmm. So what does that mean? That means that I have to learn some control. That means that I have to learn some discipline. That means I have to learn how to be consecrated. That means I got to learn how to face me. That means I got to learn how to deal with some things. That means I got to learn how to be accountable for some things. Some of the things I need to own. It was not everybody else's fault. Okay, it was not everybody else's fault. So when we're talking about stages of healing, you can't always blame everything on somebody else. There's some things in you that you have to face for your healing to be manifested. It amazes me how we want God to do all the work. Oh, we sound real good. God, we believe in you for this. We sound real good. We put it all on God. But there are some things that you have to intentionally work on. It's not going to happen by osmosis. It's not going to happen just because you spoke it. There are some things you're going to have to dig deep and actually uproot that thing, break that thing off, and destroy that very root so it does not pollute you for the rest of your life. But most of us want to declare it, and then the next day we want to post like we're healed. Here's the thing. There is a journey to healing. Come on here. There is a journey to healing. I remember some of the things that I was bound by for years. And for years, I acted like I was healed. Okay, y'all ain't gonna be real, but my transparency. I tell you all the time, my journey is somebody else's freedom. For years, I acted like I was healed because I knew how to act. Okay, I can't hear nobody. I said, so I learned how to act like I was healed because I didn't want anybody to know that I was still fractured. I didn't want anybody to know that I was still bound. I didn't want anybody to know that I was still struggling. So I knew how to act. So you would think that I had already healed from that thing. But when I went home, that thing was tearing me up. That thing was tormenting me. That thing was controlling my mind. So we have to be committed to the stages, which means I got to come on here. I got to dig deep. Come on here. I got to dig deep into this thing, and which means there is a level of discipline. I know we don't like that word. There's a level of discipline. I know that's a cuss word. There is a level of discipline that you must have for you. There's a level of discipline that you must have for your journey. I can't hear nobody. I said there's a level of discipline that you must have for your journey. Here's the next thing. Not only is healing in stages, healing is not a competition. Oh, Savior God. I said, healing is not a competition. I am not trying to win an award for who heals first. Oh, I'm leaning on in today. I am not trying to win an award for who heals first. I am not trying to promote that I heal faster than you. Healing is not a competition. Healing is a journey, and the journey is individual. The journey is personal. The healing journey has something to do with you and God. It ain't got nothing to do with no external sources. So for you trying to prove somebody else wrong, you have to realize that healing is not a competition. I'm not worried about what you think about my healing. I'm not worried about whether or not you think I'm moving fast enough. I'm not worried about whether or not you think that I got over it quick enough. I am committed to healing and healing well. Why? So I don't have to repeat this. Come on here. I said, so I don't have to repeat this. Many of us are repeating cycles of being bound because we acted like it, or we were trying to prove something. Why are you trying to prove your healing journey to somebody else? Somebody needs to put on that. My healing journey is between me and God. My healing journey is between me and God. My healing journey is between me and God. So healing is not a competition. Here's the next thing. Healing requires your whole self. Okay. Healing requires your whole self. Healing requires your whole self. What do you mean, Dr. Vaughn? Healing is just not external. Healing is internal. Healing requires your whole self. What do you mean? That means there may have been an issue in a relationship or a friendship or a business partnership. There may have been an issue in ministry or whatever, but then you have to bring your whole self into this. How did it affect me mentally? How did it affect me emotionally? How did it affect me financially? I got to bring my whole self into this healing journey, because if I only identify one area, I've only surfacely healed. I really didn't dig deep, and this thing may come back. Oh, come on here. That means I have to bring my whole self into it. That means my emotions, my feelings, my disposition, my discipline, my countenance, the verbiage, my language. I have to come into this healing journey with everything. But here's the thing. Most of us don't want to come into the healing journey. That's why it says holistic. Most of us don't want to come into the healing journey with our whole self, because we want somebody to think. We want somebody to think that we're stronger than we are. We want somebody to think it wasn't really a struggle. We want somebody to think, oh, we just hopped up on it and we okay. We want somebody to think that, I just said it and then I was over it. Who are you kidding? Who are you kidding? You got to bring your whole self into this healing journey, because you deserve to heal and heal well. And then you deserve, once you heal well, you deserve to actually move on to the stage of wholeness. But we can't get to the wholeness because we won't heal well. Social media is going to be the death of many of us. It's going to be the death of many of us, because we do a lot of stuff. We put a lot of stuff in the atmosphere that really ain't true. But you have to bring your whole self into this healing journey. Here's the next thing. You have to realize that you got to grow in your healing. There has to be growth in your healing. There has to be a level of growth in your healing. There has to be a level of growth in your healing. There has to be a level of growth in your healing. Dr. Vaughn, what do you mean? I'm trying to focus on my healing. I have every right to have attitude. I don't want to deal with this, or whatever the case may be. But when you are really healed, there is a visible sign of growth as a result of that healing. What do you mean? Because the bound me always had an attitude and was real snappy. The wounded me was always defensive. The wounded me was always fearful. The wounded me was always suspect. But the evidence of my healing is that I am more peaceful. The evidence of my healing is that I'm not as sharp. The evidence of my healing is that I've grown in my language and how I talk to people. The evidence of my healing is that my disposition and how I carry myself is no longer how it used to be. There has to be a level of growth in your healing journey. The question is, are you really committed to your healing journey, or do you just want to prove somebody wrong? Okay, I can't hear nobody. I'm out here now, God. It's me and you. Are you really committed to your healing journey, the personal healing journey that you have with God? Or are you so prone to prove whoever wounded you, to prove them that you survived? Do you want to prove to them that bad that you survived, or that you conquered, that you have now tainted your healing journey? Come on here. I remember doing that. I'm trying to help somebody because I remember going through the cycle of being wounded, and all of a sudden now I'm going to act like I'm healed, and I'm going to prove to you that I'm healed, and you didn't destroy me, and this, that, and the third, only to find myself back in the cycle of bondage, because the wounded me was still under the facade. The wounded me was still under the facade. The wounded me was still tucked under my words. The wounded me was still back there. Come on here. And so what are you trying to say, Dr. Vaughn? That means I gotta be committed to my healing journey. That what you proving you wrong ain't my point. I'm only in competition with me. I'm trying to be better than the wounded me. Come on, somebody need to type that. I'm trying to be better than the wounded me. I am trying to be better than the wounded me. That's the only focus that Shavonna has is I want to be better than the wounded me. Come on here. Ah, here's the next thing. I'm not gonna be here. I'm not gonna be here long. Here's the next thing. Ooh, uh, healing requires a level of self-care. 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 What do you mean, Dr. Vaughn? I have to be so committed to my healing journey that I realize that my self-care is top priority, which means I got to be true to the state and the stage of my healing journey. I got to be true to where I am in the stages of my healing so that I can properly care for myself on each stage. I'm trying to reach the finish line. So I got to properly care for me on stage number 1, care for me on stage number 2, care for me on stage number 3. I got to properly care for me as I matriculate through the various stages of my healing. It requires self-care for that stage. Ooh, it requires a level of self-care for that stage. What does that mean? That means I got to learn when I need grace. I got to learn when I need time. I got to learn when I need love. I got to learn when I need to check myself. I got to learn when I need to just be alone. I have to learn my level of self-care because self-care is not always about doing something. Sometimes self-care is about sitting still and being quiet. Self-care is not always about doing something for yourself externally. Sometimes the self-care is actually realizing and understanding your boundaries and knowing your capacity. And so when I'm on this healing journey requires a level of self-care because I have to know my capacity on the stage of my healing. I'm not letting you shake me and get me off. I'm committed to the journey. I ain't trying to go no faster than God will allow me to, because I want to heal well. I'm not trying to. This ain't no sprint. I'm trying to heal well. And so when you're talking about that, it's a level of self-care. I am determined to heal well because it's not about your view of how I heal. It's not about your persona of how I heal. It's not even about your validation of how I heal. This healing journey is personal, which means whichever stage that I am on, I respect the me of that stage. Oh, come on here. Come on. I respect the me of that stage. Oh, I just said something. I respect the me of that stage. So if that's where I am, I respect me on that stage. And when I am healing well, I learn how to give myself grace and have enough self-care to understand that if this particular stage is one of the most rockiest stages of my healing process that I'm trying to navigate through, I may need a little more grace on this stage. Or I may need a little more personal time on this stage. Or I may need a little more coaching on this stage, or I may need a little more attention on this stage. The last stage I was able to navigate, but this stage is kind of tough. So we have to get to a point where self-care is a part of this healing experience, this healing journey, because you got to be true to you on that stage. Okay. All right. Here's the next thing. Healing requires a level of support. Healing requires a level of support. So, how I'm going to say this. Many of us think that if we cut everybody off, then our healing skyrockets. You cut everybody off, your healing skyrockets. Healing requires a level of support. It just has to be the right support. Healing requires a level of support. It just needs to be the right support. You can't have your healing journey polluted from somebody that can only respond to the voice of your wounds and not the voice of your deliverance. You can't have someone in your corner that can only identify with the struggles of your wound and not actually be able to actually have the strength to get you to your deliverance. You cannot have someone that can only relate and have a party about your wounds and not actually strategically be able to stand strong in your deliverance. You need support. It just got to be the right one. Because many of us, this is many of us, we have become in community. We have become in community by like wounds. Oh God, I'm out here now. We have become in community by like wounds. So we're having conversations because we got the same wounds. We're piggybacking on each other because we got the same wounds. Uh, we're going to happy hour with each other because we got the same wounds. We're going on vacation because we got the same wounds. Your baby daddy crazy, my baby daddy crazy. You going through divorce, I'm going through divorce. They not treating you right on your job, they not treating me right on my job. So we're now connecting through like wounds. And so neither one of us are progressing in our healing because the only thing we can identify on is a conversation that our wounds are the only thing speaking. But you got to be able to declare, I'm not allowing my wounds to speak for me anymore. I am not allowing my wounds to speak for me anymore. I am not allowing my wounds to speak for me anymore. Oh, come on here. Somebody said, I'm not allowing my wounds to speak for me anymore because my wounds don't dictate. God, glory to God. My wounds don't dictate my outcome. My wounds are tied to a specific season, not until my destination. My wounds are tied to a specific pit stop, not my destination. My wounds were tied to a specific moment, not the longevity of my life. So I have to not allow one season, one moment, one encounter to now speak and declare what is the longevity of my life. How in the world can one wound now speak for me forever? How in the world can I allow one wound that happened a year ago to still be dictating what I'm going to do today? My wounds will no longer speak for me. Okay. My wounds will no longer speak for me. I allowed my wounds to speak for me way too long. So I lived beneath what was allowed to me. I lived beneath what God had the privilege to give me. God, I lived beneath it because all I did was wake up and talk about my wounds. All I did was wake up and my wounds spoke for me. And listen here, let me be clear. Let me be clear. I am not saying to negate the fact that you're wounded. That is not what I'm saying. I am not saying to go out here and be fake like you're not wounded. That is not what I'm saying. I am not saying to act like it didn't hurt. That is not what I'm saying. What I am saying is that the voice of your wounds should not be the authoritative voice in your life. I'll say it again. The voice of your wounds should not be the authoritative voice in your life. Come on here. If the only voice you can hear is your wounds, you need to connect with somebody that can speak something else in your atmosphere. There's too much at stake for the voice of my wounds to overpower the voice of my destiny. The voice of my wounds will never overpower my destiny. The voice of my wounds will never overpower my promise. The voice of my wounds will never overpower my purpose, because all of that came from what? A moment. Come on here. A moment. A moment. It came from a moment. That moment does not define my destiny. That was just a moment. Okay. I don't want to get stuck here because I don't want y'all to tell me I kept y'all too long. Here's the last thing with your healing. The last thing with your healing is sometimes your healing requires specific strategic therapy. Strategic, specific therapy. What do you mean, Dr. Vaughn? There are some things that we are dealing with that we really need a licensed professional to help us dig through. We got to release the shame. We got to release the disappointment. We got to release the fear. We got to release the anxiety. We need to release it all and realize there are some things that we need to dig through and be healed from that is only going to help when we get a licensed professional. I know you thought the last thing I was going to say was prayer. We should have been praying from the beginning. We've been praying since the first thing. We've been praying since we started the healing journey. But in addition to prayer, some of us have some deeply rooted stuff that we need to stop faking and get some therapy. Listen, I'm oily. I know the oil of God is on my life. I know the hand of God is on my life. But I'm not ashamed to say that I have a therapist. I'm actually looking for a new therapist now because my other therapist moved and is no longer here and don't do teletherapy. I'm actually looking for a new therapist now. Because guess what? It's going to literally, it's going to tie together. What do you mean, Dr. Vaughn? Because guess what? Even before I go into my therapy session, I pray that God give the therapist what I need to tunnel through so I can come out better. My prayer and therapy go together. I don't separate them. I pray for my therapist before I go into my therapy session so that she don't say nothing crazy and that she can help me navigate the space I'm in so that I no longer drag around stuff that is supposed to be dropped off at the therapist's office. I don't take it back home. And so, listen, sis, I'm looking for a new therapist even now. Why? Because of the weight of what I carry and what I deal with and what my therapist helps me navigate that space. I'm not ashamed. I've had a therapist since my daddy died. I had a grief therapist first, and then I had a personal therapist after I went to grief counseling and grief therapy after my dad passed and after mama passed 2 years after that and mama had cancer. I went to my grief therapist for all of that, and then once I got through and started being able to better navigate that grief space a little bit better, I realized I needed an actual personal therapist. Now I didn't get rid of the grief therapist. I didn't get rid of the grief therapist, and if you need a grief therapist, um uh my spiritual daughter's on here. Shamika Williams, she'll help you with your grief therapy. She'll help you with your grief therapy. But what I'm saying to you is get the resources, get the help that you need. Stop walking around wounded. You don't have to be. You don't have to be wounded. There is help. You do not have to be wounded. If in fact, especially after this live, if you make a conscious decision after this live not to go through those 7 things that I just gave you, and you make a conscious decision to still dwell in your wounded place, you will never be able to say that on August the 15th, God did not send me help to get unstuck. He didn't, you can't say God didn't send me the help I needed because I gave you what he gave me. I just gave you what he gave me. I gave you what he gave me. Why? Because God just had me, like I was in tears yesterday because I watched so many people be wounded, and God said, I want them to heal well. I don't want us to walk around and fake healing no more. I want us to heal well because we got so much, a plethora of God is trying to do in our lives. But many of us can't even embrace it because we fake heal. We surface heal. And how do I know? Because you'll be healed or whatever case may be, and in a month from now, you'll have a rant. Somebody done hit that button, and now you'll have a rant and everything like. Then we can tell that you're not healed. We'll be able to tell you're not healed. But when you talk about healing, if you're gonna get rid of if you're gonna get rid of certain things that's polluting your life, you need to get rid of everything that's polluting your life. So everything that's tearing down your emotions, everything, you need to get rid of everything. You can't just get rid of some of it and then say it's okay to have the rest of the stuff polluting me. No, if we're gonna be healed, we're gonna be healed all the way. That means every attachment that's polluting, or every attachment that's draining my life source, or every attachment that no longer appreciates me, or every attachment that doesn't even honor or respect my identity. You gotta get rid of it all. And so that's what I want to talk to you about today. I just want to hop on here and say heal well. And for those, that's what I just want you just one more time, just put it in the chat. I'm determined to heal well. Put your name on it. Shavana, I'm determined to heal well. Shavana, I'm determined to heal well. Yeah, I got to tell myself, I'm determined to heal well. I want you to be determined to heal well. It's imperative. We are now in the 8th month. and we're halfway through the month already. Um, this is the eighth month. This is the month of new beginnings. It's the month of new beginnings. Why not embrace your healing journey? Journey. Hear that word again? Why not embrace your healing journey in the eighth month? So I challenge you, embrace it. Heal well. Heal well. Journey. Journey. Heal well. Heal well. Remember, healing has stages. I told you that already earlier in the live. Healing has stages. Give yourself grace for whatever stage you're on, but continue to heal well. Continue to heal well. And so I love each and every one of you. Thank you for coming on here and hanging out with me today for Lunchtime Empowerment Talks with Dr. Vaughn. Starting on next week, I am taking a 3-week sabbatical for my own self-care. I have been pushing all year long. And I am actually going to take some time to sit, refuel, rejuvenate. I'm even going to go on vacation. I ain't been on one all year. Everything that I've done has been ministry related. I'm going to go on vacation. I'm going to take some self-care time. I'm going to sit and take some rest time. So for the next 3 weeks, starting on Monday, from Monday, August the 21st, all the way to September the 11th, I will be taking a sabbatical to actually rest. I haven't done that. And so I am going to take this time so that I can, Leslie, let me know which days you go. I'm going to take this time and rest. I can't teach you about self-care and I not do it. So I'm literally taking 3 whole weeks to actually enjoy myself and relax myself and come back stronger so that I can finish the 4th quarter of the year strong. Not only that, on August the 31st, it is my 43rd birthday. So I am going to celebrate my birthday on August the 31st, during that sabbatical time. So I'm going to enjoy that time. And listen, the Thrive Chamber Encounter for November the 11th. Registration is open. You can go right down there to the website, www.shavonnawhitehead.com. The Thrive Chamber Encounter, the flyers on my page, I'm going to repost it tonight. Registration is open. I hope you will come on and join me. I believe that God is going to move tremendously, and there's something that's going to happen in the room. Because what many things happen in the room. And so I believe that God is already curating the atmosphere so that change and healing can begin to take place right in that space. If you need anything, you can email info@shavonnawhitehead.com. While I'm on sabbatical, my administrator is on here. My team will be able to access it. You can literally ask any questions on the Facebook page. They can answer them for you. There is a t-shirt sale going on my page right now where I'm getting rid of all the inventory so that I don't have anything left before I go on sabbatical. Also, we have a few more slots for the Break the Box cohort that starts on September the 11th. So I'm coming back strong and refreshed. The Break the Box cohort, there are limited slots available. I will also post that on my page as well today or tomorrow. Payment plans are available. You can email info@shavonnawhitehead.com. You can continue to shop the website and everything in during the course of my sabbatical. Someone will always reach out to you and be able to respond to you while I am away. But listen, I am taking the much needed time to actually rest. And I am looking forward to it. God is just amazing. I have no complaints. God is amazing. Some challenges are coming and storms are coming. But even in this, I'm learning how to navigate well. I'm learning how to actually heal well, to identify where I am and what needs to be done so that I don't carry anything into the next season. I'm learning not to ignore things anymore and actually identify them and deal with them before they get too big. And so I love each and every one of you. Absolutely. On August the 24th, I will announce the winner of our I'm doing the best I can giveaway. We're honoring single moms and a single dad. We already have the results in. I will always tally them up and post them. I'm excited about honoring these women and this man, for, just to show them a little love and hope. Being a single parent is not easy, and we just wanted to make sure we loved on them, we appreciated them. And so listen, I am just glad that I got to come on here with you before my 3 week sabbatical. So don't think anything is wrong if next week you don't see me on Tuesday, because my sabbatical starts on Monday. But I love each and every one of you. Again, go to my page. The t-shirts are on there for $18. Some tank tops are $10. Go on over there to my Facebook page. Help me sell out and get rid of all of them. Grab some for your neighbor, your sister, girlfriend, anything like that, or yourself, so that I can ship all of these out and won't have any inventory going into my sabbatical, so I can come back strong. Again, I love each and every one of you, and I hope that you have an amazing day on and in purpose. But always remember this: heal well. I didn't say heal fast, heal well. Heal well. So I love each and every one of you, and I hope that you have an amazing day. And I'll see you after September 11th. Well, September the 12th. I'll see you September the 12th. All right. Love you all. Have a good day.